Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kyle Taylor, and I'm here to do a presentation on how to stay warm, particularly how to dress properly in layers when you're deer hunting or really any other outdoor activity. Alright, so some of these key objectives here that I want you to take away from today. I want you to know how to properly dress in layers. I want you to understand the importance of properly dressing in layers. And at the end, I want you to be able to at least demonstrate some knowledge that you're able to comprehend what I'm telling you here today. Alright, so the importance here. Alright, look around the room. Not everyone here may deer hunt or in fact hunt. But just about everyone in here has a major that is somewhat involved in the outdoors. Meaning, knowing how to properly dress in layers could help you later in future careers. Whether, some type of biologist going out into the field, taking samples, or maybe you're a construction worker or something. Alright, another example of why you might need it is a lot of you live in cold environments. I would consider Virginia Tech a cold environment. I don't know if, has anyone looked at the temperature this week coming up? Yeah, it's going to be freezing. It's not going to be fun. Going to class already is interesting enough. Temperatures make it worse. So knowing how to properly dress make going to class a little bit easier. So, properly dressing in layers can help you keep warm and stay safe from the elements. So dressing in layers, rather than just like doing a bunch of combination of clothes, you dress properly in layers. You go to class, you're warm, you get there, it's heated in the building, you're able to just peel off one layer, you should be fine. You can peel them off as you go. One last example. So say you and some friends, maybe you go hiking down like Dragon's Tooth or some other. I just looked at that this past weekend. It's like 7.7 miles. It's a pretty good amount. But you go hiking with some friends, maybe you get lost. You don't want to think about that, but maybe you do. Dressing warm could be the difference between staying comfortable or panicking, which could put you in a severe situation. Alright, so step one. You have to first obtain the clothing, either through purchasing it or borrowing it from a friend. So I have brought the clothing here for you today. About half of it's mine. The other half I had to borrow from a friend because mine's at home. I will say it can be expensive to get everything, so you kind of have to slowly build up. I had a friend who started hunting this year. He had $300 to spend. First thing he did was he went out and bought an Under Armour jacket and bibs costing $270. Didn't have any other money to spend, so I had to let him borrow some stuff. Alright, so first before I go on, can I have a volunteer who wants to dress up? Particularly slightly small. Yeah, a volunteer slightly smaller than or my size. Anyone? Anyone? Alright, thanks. Alright, so step two, you have your base or moisture wicking layers. So you have a primary base layer here. These are some tight, like synthetic knit clothes. You don't have to take, I won't have you put this on, it's a little tight. Alright, so they come in a lot of different brands. This one's Under Armour. Generally when you hear the word Under Armour, you think, some buff dude or some chick and these tight skin tight stuff. That's basically what this is. It's a moisture wicking layer. You can see it here. Alright. You have a secondary base layer that's slightly looser fitting. It's here to serve the same purpose. It still wicks some moisture away, but it also provides a little bit of warmth. So that's going to be something like long johns right here. You want to put these on. These aren't too tight. And just a long sleeve shirt. Alright, I'll set this here. You don't have to put it on if you don't want to mess up your hair. Alright. So again, the importance of this is to wick moisture away, because you're walking around doing stuff, you're going to sweat. Well, that sweat can eventually turn into damp and can freeze in some situations. One of the worst things is being wet and cold. Yeah, look awesome. Alright. So, step three is your middle and heat retaining layers. So, you have your middle insulating layer. This is going to be slightly thicker clothing. A good example would be some type of like comfy pants and a jacket. So in our case, it would be sweatpants, which I have right here. You want to model these. Alright, and then we're going to have a slightly thicker jacket. Generally, I would say a zip-up jacket. Now, you're going to have some heat lost through the zipper, but it beats having a hoodie because you have to pull it off over your head. Maybe you're trying to keep your hair nice, or maybe it's just, I don't know, pain in the butt takes some stuff off your head. So you just easily zip it up, zip it down. There you go. Alright, so you're going to have an outer middle insulating layer, and that's going to be something like a vest. I actually don't have one here with me today. You can kind of see this guy's rocking a vest here. Alright, so the purpose of a vest, alright, so it keeps your inner organs warm and protected, but it also allows you some mobility so that you can move around, do activities. And really, this is one of your main heat building layers. Alright, so step 4, you have your outer and your protective layers. So this is going to be like really the outer gear, so it's top clothing. So you have a big jacket on. It's either going to be, you want it rainproof or windproof. And you're going to have either bibs or some type of pants. So, nice pair of pants here for you. And a jacket. At any point you can stop if you want to. So what these do is these are used to protect from the elements such as wind and rain. If you get wet, that's just going to make you colder, and that can lead to hypothermia. And wind that can go through your clothing will take away from your core heat. And that can also severely reduce your body temperature. All right, we're on the last step here. Thank you for holding it. All right, so for your feet, we have 2 different sets of socks that you want to wear. I won't have you put them on just because I wouldn't want to put on someone else's socks. But you're going to have some type of tighter, like hiking socks. These are going to do the same job as the base layer. You're going to wick the moisture away. Then you're going to have like wool socks, and these are going to keep your feet insulated and nice and warm. All right. Then we got some boots that are insulated, and these are, in this case, are also waterproof. You don't have to put them on. But you can see these here. These work pretty good. These are a little bit lower in insulation. I like these, especially if you're walking around and stuff. Your feet aren't going to sweat. All right. You want to cover your hands because I don't know if anyone notices your hands get really dry these days. It's because of the wind, and that'll take heat away from you. It just makes you colder and colder. It's a negative feedback loop. Got your gloves here if you want to put them on. All right. And then lastly, we just have the face. So you have a face mask. Some people like them thicker. Some people like them less thin. You can kind of see through this. You got a beanie. So these cover your extremities, and the importance of that is these are the first places where you start to have blood loss and you get frostbite, and that's something you really don't want. All right. So real quick review, guys. Chain the clothes. You have your base and moisture wicking layers. Step 2, you have your middle insulating layers. Step 4 is your outer protective layers, and then 5 is your extremities. Now, before I ask you any questions, I have you one question. You hot? All right, it's working. All right, any questions, y'all?
What about the shoes? Like, do they ever get uncomfortable walking around in them, or do you need to get like insoles in there?
Honestly, some people actually like regular boots. Maybe I'm just weird, but I just really like rubber boots. I don't know. I always find myself walking in water. So it really makes it handy. So, all right, you can take them off now. All right, thank you guys for y'all's